15-20 minutes more, and we'll have a better sense. Madhu Kela, founder of MK Ventures, is with us. Madhu, great to have you with us here back on the program. It's been a while. So it'll be helpful for our viewers, Madhu, if you update your kind of setup and your thinking on the market now. Because, you know, we went through the first 10% plus fall on the Nifty, and it was a slightly bigger fall than we were used to over the last 3-4 years. Is that now largely behind us, you think?
Yeah, Prashant, good morning and thank you for having me again on the program. It's always nice to have interaction with you guys. I would say the market setup, Prashant, is quite constructive. There was some sign up, some kind of a euphoric movement, at least in some sectors and some companies. And even though you mentioned the Nifty has corrected by 10%, but there are a lot of these kind of stocks which have corrected even up to 50, 60, 70, 40%. So to that extent, there's been a very good move in these stocks to consolidate them. That is the point number one. The point number two, that market is extrapolating a lot this last 2 quarter performance of the corporate India. We have to view it in the context that the government expenditure was relatively lower because of elections and other issues, possibly bigger heat this time. So the fiscal deficit, even up to October month, was only 30%. So I think once the government expenditure picks up and the money really starts to trickle down, the corporate earnings, which is the really heart of market, should really pick up in the next 2 quarters, right? Starting this quarter. And whatever channel checks which we do, Prashant, talking to companies, it's been quite positive month of October and even November till date. So I think corporate earnings should be positive. Third, the biggest positive in my mind, Prashant, is, which market somehow is not talking as much, is the formation of the Trump administration's people. If you look at the choice of the Treasury Secretary and you look at his views on India, go back to his, whatever publicly he has spoken, he is a very practical person. He used to be a hedge fund manager. So I think this will go down very, very positively for India. While there will be tariffs possibly across the world and much higher tariff, I don't expect any massive tariff, because India is a natural ally to the US, and a lot of their businesses are also dependent on our services back from here. So that will naturally give India some kind of a advantage going forward. You've seen what they're talking, even they're talking of tariffs on Canada and Mexico to the extent of 25%. So if India can manage this well, so our position geopolitically should improve has already improved quite well, and our business with US should substantially go up, right? And I'll just give you, I've given some data points, if you can put that across just to prove my point. You look at the CDMO business, right? It is roughly $200 billion worldwide. And there is a breakup of what is there in India right now. It is only $7 billion out of $200 billion. It's projected to go to $300 billion. These are data even before that. So I'm just saying India is anyway going from 7 to 14. But mind you, China is projected to go from 25 billion to roughly $45 billion. Prashant, if some amount of that incremental growth also comes to India, let's say if you are able to garner $7 billion of more business, then an industry like this can grow maybe 300%. And given geopolitical situation and given where China is, I have no reason to believe that the Chinese companies can continue to grow their businesses in sectors like this. So this is just a case in point as to what is it which is lying ahead for Indian corporate and Indian industries particularly vis-a-vis the US. So I am quite constructive and positive, Prashant, on the market on a bottom-up basis, and I would look to buy every dip One more point which I want to mention, Prashant, that we have seen many events in the last 1.5 years specifically. We have seen US election, we have seen Indian election, we have seen some kind of a scare that money is going away from India to China. We have seen, 2 or 3 wars in the world. Israel and Iran war. We have seen Russia-Ukraine war. And market has gone through a lot. But if you look at the resilience of the market, it gives you a lot of confidence that in spite of all of this chaos, Nifty has only corrected 10%, which is nothing after going up so much. So which means that every dip is being bought in the market by the retail investors.
Absolutely, Madhu, you said it. It's just that, the market here got used to corrections being only 2-3%. So then relatively 10 seemed like a lot. But you're absolutely right. I mean, what is 10% in a market that's been going up consistently, that's getting so much of money, 40,000 crores coming into mutual funds every month? So absolutely take that point. Now, we'd love to discuss those bottom-up individual stock ideas with you, but we can't because of, regulatory reasons, like you say. But I just want to get your sense on 2 or 3 of the hottest themes in the market. And this is not from today's perspective. These are big themes for the next couple of years, right? One is obviously energy transition and whatever is happening in renewables. We were just speaking to Borosil Glass a while back. So that's one, renewables and energy transition. The second is, semiconductors. And we know a lot of companies have been setting up capacity on the semiconductor side. And the third, say, is, is EV, which is also something sort of very, very prominent. So these are 3 new futuristic themes. And at the same time, if you look at the old economy, you look at traditional power as well, even there's a lot of capex that's happening. Now, just help us understand that, say, from a 3-year perspective, which of these 3 themes, they're all strong, they all have a future, but which of these 2-3 themes are you most bullish on?
So I would say that, my views on energy transition. We have spoken in the same channel many times. See, this is here to stay now because this has become commercially viable. This is not based on subsidy. We are not talking of solar power or wind power 10 years back, wherein substantial amount of subsidy was needed for them to become viable. They have become viable on their own. And it is inevitable given the climate change which is happening in the world, regardless of who comes and not comes. This transition is inevitable and it is happening and it is going to happen. So energy transition really, and EV is a part of energy transition. It is a subsector in the energy transition. So I repeat again, I remain extremely positive on this theme. I just like to go back. If in year 2000, I identified internet is going to do what internet is going to do to the world, right? I would not have to do anything in the markets because more than $25 trillion of wealth got created by that one word, internet. Whether you talk of Google, Apple, Amazon, everything, it came from there, right? I think energy transition is a very powerful theme and it is going to last for next 10, 20 years. Right now, we are at a very early stage, only 14-15% of the overall energy has transited to the new sources and the clean sources of energy. And if you look at the past many transition of energy, up to even 60-70% of the new energy gets into the play. So we don't know where this number is going to go, but there is still a lot of legs to this and there are various ways to play this in the stock market. We spoke about it, we played it even through a transformer company because it's a part of this overall energy transition as a theme. So I remain very positive. I think semiconductor, we are still at an early stage. It's a medium to long term. I would say that theme to play minimum 3 to 6 years. I can't see imminently any company really benefiting a lot in the next 3 years out of the semiconductor boom in India.
All right. Hi, Madhu. Good morning. Always good to see you. You've been sounding very bullish. The last time we spoke, you were sounding a little bit cautious, but I think you're very happy to see that correction that we got, and now you're going full throttle in. Now, we've discussed a few themes. The transformer segment, TRIL, I recall, you all got in very, very early, and you all have played that theme well. Dava, we discussed, the pharma space, CDMO opportunity. Let's talk about Daru. that's another space that y'all have got bang on. And there's big potential, penetration, consumption. If it was a Friday, I would ask you if I could come across for a drink as well. What's your view on that segment? What are the themes you're playing over there?
So, Nigel, we have a very constructive, thematic view on this sector. Even though we have spoken at the cost of repeating, I'll repeat once again. See, India is a very young country, and consumption of liquor is going to be a kind of way of life. We can't, we can't help it in a way, and it has happened worldwide. Let me give you some numbers, Nigel. There is one company in China, Motai, which makes $15 billion profit every year. Only one company. Total Indian liquor industry's profit, listed companies and including Pernod Ricard, is only $500 million. I repeat again, all industry profit is $500 million, and one company makes $15 billion profit in China. So that speaks about the kind of potential which lies ahead for this business. Why this was the case? Clearly, a lot of money was being made by not the government, but by I would say, other people who were benefiting out of the policy restriction which was there. Take an example where the reform has happened. Take, for example, Uttar Pradesh. Their excise revenue used to be 8,000 crores in year 2011-12. It went to 17,000 crores in year 2017-18. Last year it was 50,000 crores. Nigel, it used to be 5% of UP's budget. Now it is 10%. Because the government has come out clean, they have cleaned up the whole industry and the state is benefiting. Same thing now we are seeing happening in Andhra Pradesh. I think we are living in a digitized world. This level of corruption cannot sustain in other states. And other states will have to follow suit. That is my bigger call. And once the profitability starts to get organized, a lot of the companies will make much larger profit. So it's a very big thematic call for us, and we are well invested. As a matter of disclosure, I must say, we are well invested in this sector.
Right. No, absolutely. I think Tilak Nagar, Radico, some of these names that you guys have been invested in for a while. So, yeah, absolutely. A full disclosure there. Madhu, the other pocket, right, where in terms of news flow, which came through was, of course, this entire Adani Group saga, which kind of, in a way, played out again. Yesterday, we saw some repair and recovery. Today, again, we are seeing some repair and recovery. What is your perspective on the matter? Do you own any of these names? Have you bought anything during this fall we've seen?
Again, as a disclosure, I must say, and I want to make this point, Prashant, we have had this discussion in the last three times. Unfortunately, these events have happened, right? So I must say I am a very, very big believer in Gautam Bhai. I have personally known him for many years. I think they have built some fabulous businesses, the largest port in India, the largest energy company in India, the largest transmission company in India, maybe one of the largest cement companies in India. So these things take, a lot of effort to get here. And I am a big believer in the capability of the group. I am invested and I have bought more in this fall. I want to be making very clear that, and these kind of events, in a large corporate life, these kind of events will happen. And I frankly do not see the reason for this level of panic because of the case which is being pointed out, and so many more learned people than me, including the lawyer fraternity, people from the US, have come in your own channel and have said what is the merit of this case. So I think this is just a passing phase in a large corporate life, and they will get through it. And I am sure as they came through, even the Hindenburg, much stronger. I have no doubt that they will come out much stronger as a group from this event.
Okay, you own some of these names and you've bought more in this recent fall as well. Madhu, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us and running us through all of that perspective. It's always a pleasure. And hopefully we'll speak once again before the year closes out and we'll talk about the year ahead. Thank you very much for being here on CNBC TV 18.